What do you call a high school dropout who got a GED, but got into college, but then got kicked out of college and was denied reentry twice? What do you call that? You call that Dr. Michael S. Jenkins Jr. That's what you call that. Today, I lead organizations, multi-million-dollar organizations. I train leaders of all levels, but it wasn't always that way. I found myself getting into a lot of trouble and hanging out with the wrong crowds and just doing things that I should not have done. When I got kicked out of high school, I didn't want to go back. I just dropped out and I went and got my GED. When I turned 18, my mom said, "You got to get out the house." And she drove me down to a small town in the South, and I went to this small school and I took my ACT and got into school. But when I got into school, I was messing around. I was playing basketball in the gym. I wasn't studying. And they do this thing when you're not doing your schoolwork, they kick you out of school. So I went to find a job because I didn't want to go home a failure. And this job in the daytime, I had to get up at 4 a.m. to drive to be to work by 5:30 a.m. Every day, 8 hours a day with a box cutter, cutting boxes. I hated that job. I felt it was beneath me. And I got so good at cutting boxes that they promoted me from cutting boxes. And they put me on the back of the assembly line. I got so good at the back of the assembly line that they promoted me to the front of the assembly line. You know what happened? Every day that I got up at 4 a.m., I was learning accountability. I was learning discipline. I was learning to be more professional. And I was doing this because I had to do it. I was doing it at a job that I hated. And a light bulb went off, and it said to me, if you can do this for a job you hate, what if you employed that same accountability, discipline, and professionalism in the areas that you enjoy? So to make a long story short, I got back into school. I began to get A's and B's, and I graduated. I got a job, and my employer then paid for my master's degree and my doctoral degree. And now, today, I can teach other people those same things. As leaders, we all have to overcome adversity. There's things that happen in your personal life. There are things that happen on the job. But are you going to complain, or will you take accountability for the part that you played? So you have to embrace that self-accountability and then embrace that self-discipline and then simply be more professional. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to imagine that box, that mundane thing that you may feel is beneath you. Let that box be the seed that grows you into the person, into the professional, and into the leader that you want to be. Do those simple things, do those mundane things, and do them well so that others will take notice and then promote you to the places where you want to be.